Good morning everybody. Magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. May buntag inyong tanan. This is Mario again doing another video. We're gonna do another lesson in regards to Bitcoin. Yesterday, I was watching this YouTuber doing a video about, I think his name was Roger Mayer. I can't, I wish I wrote it down. But anyway, I'll look out for his name and include his interview. He did an interview with what's the name, that lady? Let me get my notes here. I wrote it down. Oh, here it is. He did an interview with this lady called Maya Parkbo, and Maya is from Suriname, country in South America, and she's running as a president for Suriname, and she's very articulate and very smart. She's a young lady, and basically one of her campaign motto was make Bitcoin legal tender for Suriname, following the footstep of El Salvador. And I listened to her, and what an amazing lady. She was very articulate, and she pointed out all the advantages of making Bitcoin the legal tender of Suriname. And after listening to her, and I got so excited, and I just want to say, why can't we make Bitcoin legal tender in the Philippines? In fact, I wrote a comment on the YouTuber's interview, basically pointing that out, that maybe we should start a campaign to make Bitcoin a legal tender in the Philippines. Let me know how you feel about it, but I think I'm gonna start that. That will be my goal in life from now on. Instead of just educating people about Bitcoin, which is really important, and that's the first step, basically. When I was watching Michael Saylor, again, if you don't know who he is, he's the CEO of MicroStrategy. He made a speech, and then on the speech, he basically said the first thing is to educate people about Bitcoin. And then later, once they're educated, hopefully they'll start investing in Bitcoin, start buying Bitcoin as part of their investment strategy. And then once you go deeply in the rabbit hole, make everyone an advocate for Bitcoin. That means basically like what I'm doing right now is advocating for Bitcoin. And if that happens, then the Bitcoin community gets bigger, and adoption of Bitcoin worldwide will become a reality, which is what's going on right now. There's more and more people adopting Bitcoin as a way to invest and also to use as a digital currency. Can you imagine if the Philippines, besides the peso, uses Bitcoin as their legal tender? Let me go over the benefits, okay, of making Bitcoin a legal tender. For the Philippines, hopefully everyone would agree with it, and we could start a movement. So my goal right now will change basically from just educating Filipinos about Bitcoin. But my new goal would be to make a Bitcoin legal tender in the Philippines. Hopefully you can join me in this goal, and we can, as a group, maybe we could start a movement. If it grows, then it will benefit all of us, not independently, not just us as a person, but the whole country. Here are some of the why it's important, the advantages. The first one is financial inclusion. In the Philippines, there's so many different islands right now, and there's some islands that doesn't really have a banking system. It's just starting to go out right now, and we rely on a lot of people anyway rely on different money remittance to send money, and and stuff like that. So in the way out in the boonies in the Philippines, the different island, there's no banks. So one way is we if Bitcoin becomes legal tender, all you need is a smartphone and an internet to access Bitcoin, and that will give open up financial service to millions of people around the world. So if you live in the boonies or in the mountain or one of the islands, it's not served with a bank. That's a way to you'll be they'll be like your traditional bank basically. The second advantage is the lower remittance cost. Once you have Bitcoin, uh, the banking system is more expensive, and it's slower, but Bitcoin transaction is usually cheaper and faster, making it a better option for sending money across borders. The third the third one is basically protection against inflation. I've done a lot of lessons about this. Again, the main reason for inflation is the money printing of different countries, including the Philippines and the U.S. And over in the Philippines, I don't know I would assume that they do money printing too. And once they printed more money, the value of the money goes down. Again, supply and demand. If you added more to the supply, then the demand. The cost, the value of money goes down. So instead of the 100 pesos right now is not that much anymore. Not like it used to be. When you say 100 pesos, you can go buy a lot of groceries. But now 100 pesos, if you fill up one grocery bag, it's going to be in the thousands, not pesos, not 100 anymore. And that's because of inflation. And inflation is caused by printing more money. Another advantage is attracting investment. Once you start using Bitcoin, you're gonna attract businesses, investors that are interested in crypto. I'm talking about like MicroStrategy, and slowly businesses are getting more and more interested in crypto, and that would boost the local economy and creating jobs. So that's a big advantage right there. So if we make crypto a legal tender, and that's going on in El Salvador right now. El Salvador they have a place called Bitcoin City, and people are going there and investing money and setting up businesses that's set up for Bitcoin, and we could be part of that for Asia. So Asia doesn't have. There's countries adopting Bitcoin now, but they're not making it legal tender yet. They're basically adopting it as a way to invest money, or making it as their corporations are setting up as their reserve. So instead of putting cash reserve in the bank, they're buying Bitcoin as their reserve for this, to make that money go higher and bigger. So if we make Bitcoin legal tender, we'll have independence. Another advantage, we'll have independence from foreign currencies. We don't, like the US dollar is so strong that people are relying on that. When they do exchanges, we usually exchange to US dollars to go abroad. So if you're going to the US or even other countries, first thing you do is you buy US dollars, so you can travel abroad, and then once you're abroad, if you go to Europe, then you exchange US dollars to whatever, to euro or whatever currency the country you're going to. And we're basically dependent on the US dollars. If you're in the business, and you have to buy supplies from abroad, the first thing you do is you buy US dollars, so you're really dependent on the, how strong the US dollar is. So if the US dollar's value goes down, the money that you buy is even less. So the supplies you can buy abroad is even lesser. But if we make Bitcoin legal tender, then we don't have to go buy US dollars. We can use Bitcoin to buy the companies, the different corporations can start using Bitcoin to buy their materials from abroad. And knowing that Bitcoin goes up in value, that the value of the money that you use is even bigger than the dollars. So that's a very big help right there. And another thing is, I think it's really important, especially in third world countries. Bitcoin is very transparent and efficient. And if you use Bitcoin, that means there's a public ledger that they use, and the public ledger is called the blockchain. Every transaction will be in a blockchain, and every transaction is very transparent and it's correct. You cannot manipulate the numbers in the blockchain. Once there's a transaction, they call it the miners, they make sure that the transaction is correct. And they do this through a thing called the proof of work. So, and what happens if it's more transparent, it reduces the risk of fraud and corruption. Remember, corruption is one of the biggest thing in the Philippines, and not only the Philippines, even in the US, the most, if you give them a chance to do corruption, they'll do it. But can you imagine if all the transaction is traced and audited by using Bitcoin? So we know exactly where the money went by using Bitcoin and how it was used. We could basically stop corruption right there. And we can stop, fraud. That's one of the biggest problems in the Philippines. How to stop corruption. And we have a reason now. We have a way to stop corruption by using Bitcoin. So hopefully, the problem is, the corrupt politician will probably go against Bitcoin because they won't have control of their, they can't basically hide their money or use the money somehow, so, and basically that lady, that Maya Parkbo, that was her main problem when she said we should legalize or make Bitcoin legal tender, which can be done by just the president doing a executive order. And the reason, when she was going around asking politicians, why can't we do it? One of the politicians told her that, well, I can't really do it because I'm mining Bitcoin. I don't want people to find out that I'm mining Bitcoin. So he was basically making money off Bitcoin because he was a miner, but he doesn't want to help the country. He just want to help himself. He was benefiting from Bitcoin, and he doesn't want everybody else to benefit from Bitcoin. And that's what she said. So, and then we have, once we are in Bitcoin, we're boosting the digital economy. So we're basically making the digital economy grow bigger because of our usage and adoption. And we can improve, various sectors such as education and healthcare, and the overall economy would grow by using digital infrastructure and technology. everything's going digital right now. Not only money, not only currency. We're talking about music. We're talking about uh, all kinds streaming. I can go over it. I'm gonna make another video about that. And lastly, the biggest one probably is our kababayans, our countrymen that's working abroad. OFW, overseas contract workers, for the Filipino contract workers that's working all over the world. They can basically send money right away without using a bank or a payment service. They can lower the cost and the speed of the payments if they have control over their money, which is Bitcoin. So they can send money to the Philippines, to their loved ones, to their family and friends that needs it. And that's the overseas remittance from overseas is one of the biggest booster of our economy in the Philippines. And that's the reason why the Philippines hasn't sunk, because the remittance from the overseas contract worker is so large. Our biggest, what do you call this, money that's coming in from abroad, it's not goods, but the services of our overseas contract worker. So just imagine how many people will benefit from, Bitcoin if the overseas contract worker uses it as a way to remit money to the Philippines. I'm gonna make more videos in regards to this. So that's my goal right now, is to make Bitcoin a legal tender in the Philippines, and I hope you can join me in this quest to make it one. I'm gonna start asking help from other Bitcoiners in the Philippines. I'll probably do interviews with them, so so we could work together and point this out to different people. And again, thank you very much for listening to my message today. Hopefully, you can join me in this quest to make Bitcoin a legal tender in the Philippines. Thank you. This is Mario again, and hopefully you can subscribe to help me out. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.